Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm doing a homeschool update. We have just wrapped up our first 6 weeks of this homeschool year, and I can't wait to share with you how it's been going. So if you want to see this, then stick around. So before I get into this, I just want to start off by saying if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so happy that you clicked on this video. My name is Sarah and this is my channel, Rolling with the Rouses. And I have 5 kids, I homeschool them, and I love to share all things homeschool and motherhood. So if you like content like that, make sure that you're subscribed. Also, make sure to click that little bell button so that you're notified every time a new video comes out. And if you are a returning subscriber, you guys, thank you so much for watching my content. It really blesses me and I hope it blesses you. And I am so thankful that you guys take time to watch my videos. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's just jump right into this. This probably is going to be a pretty lengthy video. I'm going to first start off with, I guess, my youngest, and then go up and then talk about our family subjects. Okay, so let's talk about my, well, not my youngest, but my youngest that's actually doing school work. He loves to be involved with everything. Even Joy, I do let her do some stuff too, but crafty, fun stuff. And she likes to sit and obviously listen to the books and stuff, but she doesn't really technically have any workbooks or anything. Justice, my 4-year-old, he loves to do school. He loves workbooks. He loves all of that stuff. He loves to be involved. I don't even know. He just loves it so much. So I was going to let him tag along with Foundations A of Logic of English. This is his little workbook I made him. He does kind of tag along with us. He does do some of the stuff in here, but I don't make him do it. If he wants to join us, he can. If not, I just work with Isaac and Faith. But he does like to do some of the stuff in here. His favorite things in here are these pages where I'll segment out stuff, and then he has to circle the one that it is. He sometimes does the handwriting. He loves pages like this. Here is, like I said, the matching of the letters. So he does like to do this with us, and he does kind of sit down and listen to the lesson. He just likes to be involved. So if he wants to do it, I let him. If he doesn't want to do it that day, I don't force him to. I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. But for the most part, he does join us and he likes it. But because I was not sure if he was really ready for that, I decided to get him something else. And I'm going to share with you that in a minute because I want to talk about math real quick. So I got him the Good and the Beautiful Level K math, and we did, I think, the first lesson in this, and then I was like, I think that I'm gonna pause this because his handwriting is not the best, and you have to do a lot of there's a little bit of handwriting in it, and he still is preschool, but I know he could probably do all the math stuff in there or keep up with it. At least it's just his handwriting is not there. I ended up just going back to this. Now, I was just printing out copies, and I might have even shared that I was going to be doing this with him, but what I decided to do is put down the Good and the Beautiful for right now and work on this with him. And like I said, I did print out, I was copying a lot of the stuff in here for him during the summer that he was doing, just here and there when he wanted to, he would see me and Faith and Isaac doing math, and he would want to do math too. So I bought him this, and then I ended up being well, I might want to use this again. So I made photocopies, and then I just decided I'm just going to let him write in the book. And he already finished this, you guys. He loved this book so much. This is from JDA here on YouTube. I will link her channel. She's amazing. She's probably one of the first people I started following on YouTube. I just love her. She inspires me. She's got 5 kids too, and this lady crushes it. Okay, she's amazing. So I look up to her so much. And anyway, she created this, and I absolutely love it. I can't even You guys, this is just basic math, and it's from ages 2 to 4. And we had so much fun with this. He loved it so much. So after we put down The Good and the Beautiful and we started doing this, I knew she had other ones in this too. She came out with a handwriting one and also like a pre-language arts or reading one too. So I was like, I'm gonna see if she has this in PDF form. And sure enough, you guys, on her Teachers Pay Teacher, she did. And God is so good, because the day I went and looked at it, she was having like a 40% off sale or something like that. So I ended up getting the whole bundle, the PDF bundle, for like on sale. It might have been like 10% off. I don't remember what it was, but I was excited because I was gonna buy it anyways. So what I did, so I actually have more of the PDF math, which I'm stoked about. And so it came with the handwriting, I don't remember what it is. It's called like, I don't remember. It's like beginning, I can't even remember what it was called. It was like beginning language stuff. And then like beginning reading, and then handwriting, like I said. So I just created him this little notebook here with all of the pages in it. And these are just some of the things that are in it. You learn each of the different letters. He's going to match the uppercase to the lowercase. He's going to color in the things that rhyme with pig. So he had wig, big, dig. And sometimes there's even prompts to use certain colors. Like, take the orange crayon and color in this, and then he will do that. So this one is, you're going to match all the things that sound with the letter L. And then here is this one where the beginning sounds. I mean, you guys, this is so good. And he is flying through this too. Like, he's almost done. And I might print it out again for him and have him do it again. And I was thinking about that. Like, here's some blank pages. So you're going to be, draw a line from the V to all the other V's. Then you're gonna color in the pictures that start with V. But he has been loving this so much, you guys. And then where this yellow tab is right here, the sticky note, this is where I put the lettering. But also on her Teachers Pay Teacher, she does have a couple freebies, and this is a few of them. It's just like handwriting skills. So I thought these were great. So what I did is I printed all of them out that she had for free, and then I printed them out twice so he would have that much more practice. We do about 1 to 2 pages of this a day, but he like begs to do, I mean, he'll do 10 pages of like math and the reading stuff every day. Like, he loves it so much. So I'm probably going to print him another one of these out just to give him a real good foundation, and because he's loving it so much. So here's another example here. He has to trace the different shapes in the different colors. Here's, I think this was the repeating. And then it goes into the actual one that I purchased is this. It came with the bundle. It has letters, it has uppercase, lowercase, and numbers in it. Let's see, what does the beginning look like? Oh yeah, so here's the uppercase. This is just kind of what it looks like. But I'm so happy that I purchased this PDF, because I will also use it for Joy. And it is really basic and good. It is really good, and I personally love it. He loves it so much, so that has been a win. So I'm either going to print out this whole thing again and let him do it again, or we're just gonna dive right into the Good and the Beautiful math again and see how that goes. Like I said, I really like that the lessons are short and stuff, and he enjoyed the one lesson that we did, but he, like I said, his handwriting is not really there, so he needs like really easy stuff. But we might just try to dive into this and see how it goes. And then if not, we'll put it down again, and then we'll always come back to it. So that is how everything is going for him and what I plan to do. So everything's been going really good with him. Now, moving on to Faith and Isaac, because they pretty much have the same things together. I group them together in reading and in math. For reading, they are doing Foundations A from Logic of English. You guys, I have been loving this. I don't know what it is about this program, but I really love it. I love it so much. Like, I really do. I just feel like it's not as much, I don't know. I know all reading programs, they are just a little bit more intensive. Like, there's more work to a reading program. But maybe it's just the season of life I'm in, and I don't no longer have like so many toddlers and a baby. But I am really liking this a lot, you guys. I just feel like it's not super intensive on me, and it's very open and go, and I don't have to prep anything, and I really like it, and they're both enjoying it too. This is going really good for us so far. But one thing I do want to mention, so you can, when you purchase this, you can get the workbooks for, I ended up getting this used, and then I ended up going on Logic of English and purchasing the other things like that didn't come with the what I purchased used. I ended up purchasing that stuff, plus I ended up purchasing the PDF of the workbooks. And I wanted the PDF because I knew that all of my littler ones were going to probably go through this, and it was the same price as, I'm pretty sure, as just one workbook. And I have a good printer, so I decided that I'm going to just buy the PDF and print them and bind them each a book. One thing about it is, though, you can either get this in manuscript or cursive. Now, I ended up getting it in manuscript because I didn't want to confuse my kid, but now I wish I got it in cursive. Now, the teacher's manual, it does do both. It teaches both manuscript and cursive. Let me try and get to it. But the cards that I got, so if you see right here, it shows cursive and manuscript. And the reason why I wish I got cursive is because now my daughter is really interested in cursive. But it's okay because I can still teach her cursive through the way that they teach it, because they have this cursive one here. But I do kind of wish that maybe I had gotten cursive, because cursive would be it's just easier flow. You pick up your pencil less. And I don't know, I bought the manuscript because I just didn't want to confuse my kids that I'm already like teaching how to write, especially my littler ones. I'm like already trying to teach them how to write like manuscript, and then here I go switching it up. So I didn't want to confuse them, but I don't even know. But so I kind of wish that I got it in cursive, but I'm glad that the teacher's manual does show the cursive way to write letters, because I can always just teach her because she's very interested in it. So next is math, and they are both doing Isaac is 5 and he's about to be 6, and then Faith is 7, and I ended up pairing them in math for level K because I just thought it would just be easier to just pair them together, and then I was just going to see how well Isaac, if he caught up or whatever, and he did. He tagged right along with us, and he did great. So I ended up buying the Good and the Beautiful's original level 1 when they had it discounted. And at first I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't have got the discounted because, you know, they have the Simply Good and Beautiful math. But because I pair them together, it really doesn't take us that long. So and I'm not having to teach it like multiple maths. This is really the only math besides justice that I'm really having to teach. So this has been going really good, and I am glad that I bought it. I really, really like this a whole bunch. So, and they really like it. We like the themes in it. It's beautiful. We like the stories. I mean, it's just so good. And I think because we already did level K, I just already knew what to expect with the whole daily dose and everything. And even though And even though the daily dose is a little bit different, it really doesn't even take us that long to get through. So yes, we are liking and enjoying math a lot. So math is going good. On to Nathan. And for math for him, he is doing Matthew C. Gamma, and we are really enjoying this a lot. Yes, we really like this. I like this so much that I was even thinking of like after we do The Good and the Beautiful, I just might switch all my kids to this, because so far it is really good and I like it a lot. But I don't know, I really love The Good and the Beautiful math, so I might not switch. But we really do, and I think this is so great for my son. I just like the visual of it, and how it talks about, you know, using math in everyday life. So there's like a reason why we have math and why we need to learn math. So I really am liking this a lot, and Nathan is really liking it a lot. Pretty much what I do is I just schedule like a whole week out for him. I have a planner, which I think I already have that video out. But he has his own planner, and I write down on every Sunday, I prep his week out, and I write down the lessons, and you are, as the teacher, supposed to be the one watching this disc. So what I do is I watch it, and then I will decide whether I think he needs all of the practice sheets or not. And most of the time, like the first couple lessons, I was like, okay, he really already knows a lot of this and pretty much has mastered it. So I made him do like one sheet, and then we went on to the next lesson. But I like that we have that flexibility, that we can just stay and keep working and master it, or we can just move on if he's already mastered it. So we are really liking this a whole lot. He likes it. And then what I do is I watch the lesson. I decide what I think he is going to need. And then I write it in his thing. And then if I think he needs to go on to another lesson too that week, I will also watch that lesson, just to be aware. And then I have him watch this, and on like a little portable DVD player, he watches it, and then he does his lessons. And then if he has any questions, I've already watched the lesson and I know how to help him. So yes, this is so good. I am so glad that we switched to Matthew C. because math was a struggle for us. Like we didn't like it. Okay, he has not even complained once about doing math. So this is like really good. For language arts, he is doing The Good and the Beautiful level 4, and I am loving this level because he pretty much does almost everything on his own, praise God. So he's doing this, and he pretty much, like I said, does everything on his own. We were having a little difficulty with the writing prompts at first. He doesn't like writing and whatever, but he got over it, and he's actually been doing really good with it. So we are The Good and Beautiful level 4, going great. I am so happy. Then I also have him doing this Evan Moore's Skill Sharpeners Critical Thinking, and I do like this. Yeah, I like most of this. I like that it's getting him to think outside the box. And then I also have this Grammar and Punctuation for him from Evan Moore as well. And what I do with this is, if The Good and the Beautiful has like sometimes weaving throughout the level 4, instead of like doing grammar or any of that, they have like an art lesson. I will give him something in here to do as well. So as I'm prepping the week on Sunday, I will look through the pages and see, do I think he needs a little bit of extra practice in here? Yes, if not, I mean, he's only done a couple so far, but that's okay, because this book, I think it will be great to last us for the whole year. So now for science and like social studies, culture stuff, and cultural stuff. I made each of my kids a binder this year And I will kind of go over Nathan's, and then I will go over Faith's, because Faith is the same as all of my other kids. And then Nathan has like his set up a lot differently. So each of my kid has a color. Nathan is orange, and then I just made this like little thing on Canva. But this I have here, his science laid out, and we're using a couple different things for science. We're just using some books. I will leave my video of like everything that we're doing for science. But what I ended up doing is one of the things we're using is this animal workbook, and I ended up taking that apart, hole punching it and sticking it in a binder so that I can copy it and reuse it, because it was like a $20 book, and I'm like, this would probably cost me less to just, if I wanted. And I think Faith would really like to do stuff like this. Like, this is right up her alley. Like, she saw these and she was like, can I have some of those? Like, she legit loves stuff like this. So this is kind of what he's doing, and it just is tying into stuff that we're already learning in science. So this is just like kind of showing his work in science, really. And we're liking that. And then he has mind benders back here that I printed out for him. So I have like a tab for everything. I have apologetics here. I have his science stuff. I actually photocopy his math too, in case I decide I want to use it again for any of my kids. And then I have mind benders back here. And then those are all his, the subjects that we have inside of here. And then I also have this little passport that we're putting together as we go through, which I will move on to, as we go through this curriculum right here. So this right here is Children of the World, and this is an around the world, learning about children all around the world, and I have been loving this. We are about, I think, 4 weeks into this, and I love it a whole bunch. I will talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but it pretty much comes with a ton of stuff, you guys, so much. And I do plan on going over, making a video going over this whole curriculum, because, you know, I've never found this on searching on YouTube, and I would like to make a video because I think this curriculum is so good, so good. So yeah, there's this, and we read through this along with a couple other things, but this is what it came with, the PDF. You can buy physical copies, but I decided to get the PDF because it was a little less money. And that way I would have PDF forms if I wanted to do it again. This is not consumable, so I wouldn't have to print this again. This is not consumable unless, of course, you write in it, and then, yeah, I mean, you could erase it. But this is consumable. And this is his Make Your Own World Travel Diary. So this is just a little around the world diary thing. So he had to like color in stuff. He's not really into coloring. He had to write about things that he learned. So it's pretty much just like notebooking pages, which I really like this a lot. Now on to my younger kids group subjects. We've done a couple things, you guys. I went a little crazy. But in a good way. Okay, so I purchased A Year of Tales, and I'm actually, okay, so how I ended up doing our school year is this. Before we even started school, I decided I'm getting my kids into a very good routine, morning routine, so that we're already in a good routine, and then we're not having to, because sometimes when we take a break before we start school again, I'm trying to not only just get them to do school, but we're also trying to establish new routines and stuff like that. So what I did before even starting school is I made sure to establish all of our chores and routines and all of that. And I do have a couple videos on how I do that I will link down below if you guys want to check it out. The first week, what I did is we did Bible, we did, everyone did math, everyone did language arts, and then I did a year of tales, and then we did read-alouds and stuff like that. And then Nathan had his like critical thinking and that kind of stuff. Like all Nathan's individual subjects, he had all of those ready to do. So that is pretty much how I did the first week, first 2 weeks, because I wanted it to be like gentle, like gently go into it. And so we were kind of following this, not to a T. We weren't doing all the activities in this. We did some of the science, but from now on, we are just going to be doing, using it to read through these stories, and then also for the Bible portion and character development. And then I do like to look in here for at each week's book list, because I have found a lot of good books through this book list. So I do use it for that, but the first 2 weeks I did kind of add a little bit more of this into it and pull in some science from here and all of that as well. But from now on, I think I'm not going to do that, because we're also doing Torchlight, which I'm going to talk about in a minute after. And then also in week 2, I ended up doing like an apple unit that we did together. So we read lots of books on apples, and yeah, that was fun. We did a couple like little apple projects, like made homemade applesauce, and that was really fun. And then another aspect that I like about this that we were incorporating was our tea time stuff, that we were grabbing some of the tea recipes from here. So that was fun. I don't think I'm going to continue, but I will look at all the tea times just to kind of see what they're doing in this, because Torchlight also has like a tea time, and it's kind of themed around the world. So I like that, because then I just feel like it ties that country in really great at the end of the week. So I don't think we're going to continue with the tea time with this, but I am using it for character, Bible, and the literature portion for this. So I mean, for that kind of stuff, I'm really liking this so far. My kids love all of these stories, and then we got to watch the movie, so that was fun as well. Then the third week, what we did is I had purchased this mega homeschool bundle. I think you could still maybe purchase it, but you're not going to get the discount that I got it. But one of them was a cool human body thing that I printed, laminated, cut out, and then put it on the wall, and it was like big. And because Isaac loves the human body, I thought he would like that. But I also wanted this Me on the Map from the Little School of Smiths. I follow her on Instagram. So I ended up purchasing that mega homeschool bundle just because it was such a good deal with all of the stuff that you got. So I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. I think this will be a great introduction before we start Torchlight. And because we were just gonna jump into Torchlight, and then I bought the homeschool bundle, and I was like, I'm gonna do this first. Well, as I was looking through the homeschool bundle, someone also had this family tree thing on there too. So I was really excited about this, and we used this. I mean, it just has a ton of principles about like, there's more than this. This is just some of the stuff. So we ended up doing this family tree, along with, we did this little like worm unit thing. Okay, so someone also in there had a couple cute principles about worms. So I ended up just checking a ton of worm books out at the library, which I do have a video coming out about all of those fun books. And we did like a whole little worm unit, so that was so much fun. But this was one of the principles, and we actually made our own little worm farm. And what was so fun is that week we were actually learning about, in the Year of Tales, we were learning about like owls too. So the kids made these owl masks, and then I let them go outside and like pretend like they were owls looking for worms and just like going dig with their little owl masks. And they had so much fun making up their own little wormery. Anyways, this was a fun little experiment for them. And then we learned so much about worms and why they're so great. And my kids had so much fun with this. And then also, to go along with that little worm thing, was the lady had also created these little paper dolls. So I printed them out and cut them out, and she had two things in here. She had worm, like a little one that came with like this its own little wormery. But then it also had another one that was like little fairies. So my girls, oh my gosh, they loved this so much. Like they had so much fun with this. This is like just some of the things. So here's like a girl, and then I gave them some some of that sticky dap stuff so that they could like, see it's on the back of here, so that they could add the little dresses to the girls, and they had so much fun with this. My girls loved this. Like Joy loved it, Faith loved it. I mean, this was a win. So I was so happy to get that mega homeschool bundle, because we have used so much of it already. Okay, so then the next week, which I think was week 4, we ended up starting Me on the Map. And the only resources that it really tells you to get for this is this book, which we actually already had. I got this on Book Outlet like a long time ago. And so I was super excited about that. And then this one as well. And when we did our family tree, I forgot to mention, I have this book too, Me and My Family Tree. So we got to read through this book as well. I have a couple of books in this series, but this was really good and fun to go through when we read through when we did our family tree. And then I just like in PowerPoint with the family tree, I ended up putting everything in, like all these pictures of all the people in our family. And then we just made our own little family tree, you guys. It was so cute. My kids loved it so much. Like we had so much fun that week, learning about our family tree and the worms, and it was just so much fun. Anyways, this is suggested for the last unit, which is unit 8. But we haven't done that yet, but we've done everything else. And you pretty much go through your room, your house, your street, your town, your state, your country, your continent, and then the earth. So we've done all of those. And then you go into making your own little children just like me. And then you're supposed to like talk about kids throughout here. But what I ended up purchasing this book not too long ago because of this. And it was taking forever to come in for my library. So I was just like, I'm just gonna buy it. So I ended up buying it. But I have checked this out from the library, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And this is just, I feel like a really good book to have anyway, because we can use this throughout this whole year, not just for this unit, because we're doing around the world stuff. But I just thought this would be such a great addition to do before we got into our like world traveling stuff, just so they kind of get like a basic idea of like geography and where they are on the map and stuff like that. So we've had so much fun with all of this. Another thing that we have been practicing is shoe tying. And you guys, okay, how funny are those memes about the homeschoolers where it's like, my kid knows how to milk a cow, but they don't know their address, or they don't know how to tie their shoe. Well, okay, first of all, the Me on the Map actually has an activity in there to teach them their address. So I was so glad about that, because that's just something that slips my mind. And so my kids are learning their address. And then I bought this, I don't know, a while back. And I was like, we haven't even used this thing, and I bought it. I'm like, we're taking it out and we're gonna focus on it. So I like wrote it on the board to remind myself to teach them how to tie their shoe. And Faith got it, no problem. But she is 7. Like, I know, that's crazy. She could probably do all these other things, but she couldn't tie her shoes, so she was 7. What? And then Isaac is working on it, so he's doing a pretty good job. And then Justice, he's kind of working on it. But this is just something I'm like, we need to like master shoe tying. And then I'm almost done, kind of, you guys. I told you this is a pretty lengthy video because I do have lots of kids too. A look inside of their binder. So like I said, each of my kids have their own color. Faith's is purple. So I even made a little binder like this for Joy. So she's pink, Isaac's blue, and Justice is green. Because Joy, I have to print her out things too, because she loves to be involved. But I pretty much have theirs set up like this. I actually purchased these really cool dividers on Walmart, and they have these pockets on both sides, so I really like that. So the yellow ones are for our Torchlight stuff, and then I did find these little passports that I found free online. I'll try to remember to link them. And then I found another one that had a different type of passport. I liked this passport, so I used this, but then the other one had like these little stamps that we're gonna cut out and put in our passports. The orange here is for our Year of Tail stuff. So here's an example of something that we did. We did this, and then we did the rabbit, and then we didn't do the tree yet. Then this red one here is just for extra stuff that we've done. So like the me on the map, my family tree, stuff like that. These are all the little circles that you make with the me on the map. You are supposed to put these together in a brad so that you can kind of flip through them. So that is fun. And then we have here just some science related stuff. So we put our wormery stuff, life cycle of a worm, and we were documenting our wormery. And then back here is just our critical thinking stuff. So this is pretty much how all of my kids' binders are set up, like that. And yeah, so now let's talk about Torchlight, and then we'll go on to one other thing, and then we'll be done here. So Torchlight, now we have only done 1 week of this, and it was the British Isles, and now this next week we're actually going to take like a semi-break. We're still gonna be learning stuff, but we're gonna actually do a dinosaur unit, and we're just gonna drop everything else and just do Bible and dinosaur unit, and that's it. We're gonna drop pretty much everything else as our little break, because we're just in such a good flow here that I don't want to ruin it with a break, like, and not do anything. So I'm like, we're just gonna do like fun stuff this week. So it's not really school, but it is kind of school. Anyway, so what I actually did is I went through this, which is Nathan's, and I paired up all the things that go with this, like so that they're learning the same thing at the same time. So when we get to the end of the week and we do our like dinner, our special dinner, because in this curriculum you're supposed to do like a special dinner gathering and learn and incorporate things and decorations that would have to do with that country or culture that you were learning about. And then that's pretty much the same thing that you do with this, but I think it's like a little tea time. So what I thought would be really fun is I was gonna do these just how they were, in the order they were in, but then I was like, I don't want to, because then the tea time is gonna be hectic and crazy, and I don't know how to do that, and I want them all to just be on the same page when it comes to that, so that when we're sitting down so that we're not like sitting down for like an Irish dinner and my little ones haven't even learned about Ireland yet or whatever. So, which was so cool, because I actually started this curriculum with Nathan week, I think 3 of our homeschool, and it ended up the first 2 weeks were just kind of an intro into like kids around the world, and then the first week was the British Isles, and this was the first week that I did with them. So actually we went through the British Isles like kind of the British Isles, and we learned about England, and then the next week was focusing all on Ireland, I think, or something like that. And then this one is just like British Isles as a whole. So you just kind of read a couple books from different things. And then I pulled in my own things. So pretty much I just marked up which ones matched with this, so that they were matched up together and we were learning the same thing at the same time. And there's some things that I'm probably gonna have to maneuver, like the read aloud or whatever, but that will be okay. I pretty much figured it out. So and so far we have been liking Torchlight. I really like this a lot. My kids are liking it. And I mean, we've only done 1 week, so I mean, that's really all I can say about that. But I mean, so far it's good. And then I want to talk about the read-alouds that we've done. So for Nathan, his first read-aloud is this book, Mandy, and we're almost done. And I actually decided that I'm going to do read-alouds with all of them together. So I am currently reading this with all of my kids, and just so that my other kids get exposed to this stuff too. And then I'm also going to be doing their read-alouds, which their first one was Paddington. And I started to read it, and then I was just getting so tired from reading that I was like, I found it on audio on Scribd, so I used the audio, praise the Lord. And we listened to this during our morning time and our lunch time, and then during dinner I will read this to them. And before we started Paddington, we did read through this book here, Mr. Apple's Family, and we just did this in our morning time. And this was fun when we did our little Apple unit. This was such a good book. This is from the Good and the Beautiful library, and we really loved it. I do talk about this in my Apple video that I think already came out. It's like a whole video on books, Apple books, for like if you want to do an Apple unit, just like some good books that we used for that, if you guys are interested in seeing that. For this last week, we read through Paddington, and we learned about England and the British Isles, and we learned a lot about London and all of the sights to see there. And then for our tea time, I just set up like a little English tea to represent that. So that's what we did for our little tea time on our Fun Friday, because that's what we do on Fridays, is we just have like a fun little tea time. We made some homemade scones with some butter and jelly or jam. And then we also made some gluten-free brownies. And then I just like made them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but I cut them up into finger sandwiches. And then I made myself some English tea because my kids don't really care for tea, so I made them hot chocolate. And then I tried out the English tea because I'm like, hey, I want to try this out, and it was so good. And it was really fun. We had so much fun. And then for that same day, we always do a Friday night family movie, and we watched Paddington. So that was so fun that they could watch Paddington. They enjoyed it so much. And I think I have swore I've tried to have them watch Paddington again, and they were always like, no. Like anytime we're trying to sit down and figure out a movie, I'm pretty sure I have mentioned Paddington. And we watched it like one other time, like a long time ago, and my kids would always say no. And they were so excited to watch Paddington because we read the book. So that was so much fun. Now, on to the last thing that I want to talk about is you guys, I've never really done a morning basket, and I mean, I guess this is technically a morning basket, but I didn't realize it. But it's pretty much a basket of like all the stuff I use for our Bible and character development stuff. And this I just have like sitting in our homeschool room. And then every day I just kind of figure out what we're going to use through it. So these cards, like I said, we are doing A Year of Tales' Bible and character portion. So we're pretty much going through all these cards, and what I do is in all of the resources I have in my basket, whatever we're learning that week, I will look through. For instance, I have this book, and this book. I have these 4 books right here, and they're all pretty much talking about character development stuff. So what I will do, as you can see, I have like little tags, like sticky notes in here. Whatever we're learning, whatever character we're learning that week, I will go through all these books and I will tag off if it has it in it or not. If it doesn't, what I end up doing instead is I will just look through all the other things that I have in here, and I will use those. So we've also been doing this every day. This is just like a little devotion I found at the thrift store. We're like already halfway through it. It's been pretty good. I like it. And then I also stuck Mr. Apple's Family in this basket as well to get through. And then we started to read through this. So on weeks that on weeks where I only have maybe 1 or 2 of these, or maybe none at all, I will read something like this. So we're gonna work our way through this, which is really cool. This is an Abeka reader. This is a 2nd grade. I got this when Nathan was in 2nd grade. And you guys, this is really good. I like this a lot. So I stuck this in here as just like a backup if we don't have anything else to do. And then we are also going through the Indescribable. You guys, I've had this for so long, and we would just kind of read through it for like different things that we were going through. I got this idea from Lindsay over at Mama Schmooth's Reviews. She used to talk about how she would go through this, and she would do it as whatever unit they were doing, she would tab them off. That's why I have like I still have like so many of these on here, because I was using them, I was using this that same way. Well, this time we're actually just reading through the whole thing. So we do that one, we rotate through that one, and then I added the Answers book for kids, volume 1 in here for right now. And then my son, I did buy the apologetics book that goes with this, like the student and teacher guide, and he does the answers in it. So we will do this. We will do 1 question. I don't even know, sometimes, like, we've only done this week, so we've went through I think 3 questions, so we don't do it every day either. And then I will have my son go back and fill out all the other stuff for his little worksheet for it. And then we are also going through all of the scriptures that go with the Year of Tales. So I just laminated and put them on this ring, and we read off every single morning whatever. We have been practicing, not all of these, because I don't think all of these are in it, not these. So far, we have gone through this many. I think there's like 6 of them. So we're currently just continuing to read through all of these every single morning, just to hide the word in our heart. And is that it? I don't know. This has been going really good. So pretty much what I started doing is every morning when we go to sit down to eat breakfast, I just take a couple things out of this bin or this basket, and I bring them to the table, and then that's when we do that. And that is also when we do our read aloud as well, or one of our read alouds, because like I said, I'm like reading the read alouds that Nathan is doing, and then plus whatever the read aloud is for the Torchlight. So we're just getting lots of literature in, and plus all the other books that we get from our library stuff. Our first 6 weeks have gone so good, and I hope it just continues to go this well, because I mean, this year has been great. Maybe it's the season of life I'm in now, where, like I said, I don't have like tons of toddlers and babies, and it's just like a lot easier. And I'm feeling better physically. Like, I know I kind of mentioned this in a couple of my other videos, which I'll probably do like a whole life update video, but I wasn't feeling good for a while. So, I mean, it was a real struggle at first to like even get out of bed sometimes. So now I'm feeling so much better physically. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna have to end this video. If you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions. I will try my super hardest to link everything. This is a lot of stuff though, so I don't know if I'm gonna remember, but I will try so hard to link everything in the description box below, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right guys, have a blessed day.